Producer Brian Baker, Gwen, thank you. Oh, Steve Bannon, Michael Wolff, this book, The Insanity. It's never ending. It is absolutely never ending. What do I do about a book that has now been rushed to publication? People are going to buy it to see how salacious it is. The news that Michael Wolff actually did have access to some people, that Michael Wolff claims that he has taped some of these conversations. The president says he never had a conversation with me. Michael Wolff says he had 3 hours of conversations with the president. No, not at one time, but rather from the campaign through, I don't know, just the other day. So 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 2 minutes there. I don't know. I have no idea what he caught up with or whether he was around conversations or he was asking the questions. I have flat out no clue. But really the question is, not even what do we believe? What is the purpose here? What is the purpose of this book and of this media explosion? Well, if you're Michael Wolff, the purpose is to sell as many books as possible. That's the purpose. These things don't change. Michael Wolff, as somebody who is trusted? No, Michael Wolff has proven himself as a guy who is untrustworthy. Being on the Today Show, as he was this morning, speaking with Savannah Guthrie, he said, and I'm quoting here, that while he stands by everything, absolutely everything, unquote, in the book, he says, quote, I certainly said whatever was necessary to get the story. Those are his words, not mine. As a matter of fact, we can go to him. Here he is in his own words.
Obviously, as you know, tweeted about you last night. He says, I authorized zero access to the White House, actually turned you down many times, said he never spoke to you for the book. It's full of lies, misrepresentations, and sources that don't exist. So as good a place to start as any. Did you talk to the president?
What was I doing there if he didn't want me to be there?
Well, let me ask you, did you talk to the president? Did you interview him for this book?
I absolutely spoke to the president. Whether he realized it was an interview or not, I don't know, but it certainly was not off the record. I am certainly and absolutely in every way comfortable with everything I've reported in this book.
Would you release any of those recordings since your credibility is being questioned?
My credibility is being questioned by a man who has less credibility than perhaps anyone who has ever walked on Earth at this point.
Well, that's pretty something. That's a bit of diversion. Your credibility is being questioned. Will you provide any of the tapes? My credibility is being questioned by somebody who has less credibility than anybody who's walked the earth. Yeah, but will you let us hear the tapes? That was the question that was asked of you, sir. And this whole idea about Trump's credibility, this whole idea about Trump's mental state, everybody who's around him, according to Michael Wolff, everybody who's around him says that he's unstable. He's like a child. It's all about him, and he's not. They question his mental fitness. That he's like a child, and it's all about him. I absolutely believe that to be true. I absolutely believe this to be true. That Trump is all about him. It is part of what makes him and what drives him. It was something that many people accepted when they voted for him. It's weird. I don't disagree. But if I were to ask the question for President Obama, I don't want to do whataboutism. Just this is, however, something that's curious. Wasn't it always about him? Did we not notice, as Twitchy has done a brilliant job of pointing out year after year since their existence during the Obama days? Twitchy is a website that who said what? So it chronicles people's tweets and reactions to them. Every time there was a major event, a holiday or whatever, President Obama or his Twitter account would put up a picture of President Obama. When he was talking about Rosa Parks, it wasn't a photo of Rosa Parks. It was a photo of President Obama on the bus a mock-up of a bus that Rosa Parks would have been on. It's always about a photo of Barack Obama. It was always about him. Every level, every way, every place was always about him. I did this, I did that. We used to count the amount of times President Obama said "I" in a speech. You know what? Let's prove me right. Brian Baker, go to the Bing box. I try not to use Google as little as possible. Go to the Bing box and write in President Obama said "I," not EYE, the letter I. How many times? I'm curious as to what comes back, producer Brian Baker. I haven't checked. How many things come back? Just curious.
I, me, and my 199 times in one speech.
Okay. What are we talking about here? You want me to somehow disagree with you that Trump's all about him? No, Trump's all about him. Let's go back to the ice cream. You know, it's my father often brings this up. Why in the world do people care that Trump gets 2 scoops of ice cream and everyone else gets 1? Well, as I would say, because it's one of the rare moments where I disagree with my father, if I'm at an event and he's at an event and he gets 2 scoops of ice cream, I want 2 scoops of ice cream. Who is he to get more ice cream than me? I like ice cream. What, he likes ice cream more than I like ice cream? That is impossible. Nobody likes ice cream more than I like ice cream. But the whole point is that he likes to put himself ahead of the game, ahead of the story, ahead of the people. He wants to be more important, and he is willing to do it based on the size of the scoop, the size of the button. You won't get me not to agree that this is a flat-out craziness from the president. He also stands up for Iran, the people of Iran. He also stands up to Kim Jong-un. He also made sure that by sheer force, we got a tax bill. Republicans didn't want to be against him. They didn't want to risk it. I mean, that's what happened, right? That's what happened. And he did the single most important thing for America ever. He ensured that we didn't get Hillary or Jeb. And I can't be more thankful. So this idea that he doesn't have credibility is nonsense. He doesn't have credibility to you. He doesn't have credibility to the people at NBC News, to Chuck Todd. Who cares? Chuck Todd doesn't get to decide anything. If Chuck Todd got to decide things, it would be President Hillary. President Hillary, who is now under investigation from the FBI. So this is all just nonsense. This is silliness. Really, this whole book thing is silliness. It's distraction. Where all the bets are off is this idea that some people have been recorded. That Michael Wolff has them on tape. Man, that it won't come back to hurt Trump, except as you're supposed to hire the best and the brightest. You hired a guy dumb enough to be on tape? I go through my entire life thinking I'm on tape. There are only 2 places in my life where I have honest conversations where I'm pretty sure I'm not on tape, and I would be stunned to find out I am. But in none of those places are they places with a guy who's writing a book about my boss. I know. How did you think you weren't? So if guys like Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon and others are on tape engaged in these conversations about Trump, they are too, do I want to say dumb? I mean, I don't like to say, they're too dumb to be in politics. It's insane. And those tapes are going to be used again. They're just going to get abused by any tapes that may be out there. But I must say that the real kind of stunner is Steve Bannon, who President Trump is now referring to in tweets. You know, the president, he certainly does love himself a little bit of Twitter.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. He put out on tweet, he refers to Steve Bannon as Sloppy Steve. And okay, childlike. We get it. We get it. We're there. We're with you. You could not have scripted yourself a more disastrous fall than Steve Bannon. This is insane. He was going to create a network. It was going to happen. And now the Mercers have left him. His real funding has left him. Supposedly there's this Chinese businessman who is now going to fund him. Where does he keep? I can't find no funding. How does he keep doing this? But you now have the president giving you nicknames. You now have a proven track record of anything but success. You could not have fallen this hard, this fast, this aggressively, this brutally. You could not have scripted this out. Nobody would have. Honestly, the only thing that could become worse for Steve Bannon is if he were to wake up in the filming of Saw 7. Right? Like Jigsaw is messing with him. That's it. How does it get worse than this? You wake up with some kind of rash on the inside? What else is there? The only way this could possibly be worse for Steve Bannon is if tomorrow he woke up in the morning naked in bed with Lena Dunham. That is the only way it possibly gets worse. Now, the funny thing is that I don't know if it's over for Bannon. I have absolutely no clue. But if Breitbart does indeed kick him out, which is really speculated on but hasn't been confirmed yet, that's probably the best thing to happen for Steve. Because there'll still be some people out there who defend him. But this is all just ugly. And amazingly, about a book we're not going to read, and there is no reason, truthfully, to believe. 2018 is something else. I'm Tony Katz.